Hi there, and welcome to the Dietary Restriction Kitchen. I'm Nat Ryan. Today in the kitchen, we're going to do something that I've done once before, and I thought it was going to be difficult when I did it, but actually it is really quite simple, and that is dairy-free creamy risotto. Now, I've always loved cheese, and then when I had to become dairy-free, I really miss cheese, and in fact, I still do. But one of the things that I always wanted to be able to eat was risotto. And so even after I couldn't do dairy, and most risotto recipes have a lot of dairy and cream and milks and butters and cheese and stuff in it. So what to do with that if you can't eat dairy, like I can't eat dairy anymore. So I found a recipe for it and I adapted that recipe. So there is recipes online for creamy risotto that is dairy free, but I've kind of made it my own. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. And it's really a lot of fun. So let's get started. So before we get right into the thick of things, I just want to show you what the ingredients are for it. First of all, of course, if you're making rice, you need, well, rice, right? Risotto takes arborio rice, which is a sort of an Italian style rice. It goes very creamy. It doesn't really work very well if you don't have arborio rice, so look for it in the store. So there, something like that. So that's the kind I get. Also, you're going to need a lot of broth, okay? This takes about 5 cups of broth or so. No, wait a minute. Let's see. No, not 5 cups of broth. I don't know why I was saying that. It takes, yeah, no, it is. It's 5 cups of broth. So I know it seems like a lot. So it makes me always look twice, 3 times. But yeah, so you're going to need 5 cups of broth. This is an even 5 cups, okay? So I have 1 cup of broth. Going to do that, or one thing of broth and then a second one. So I'm going to use mostly vegetable broth and then go to chicken broth to finish up. But so make sure you have plenty of broth on hand, whatever kind of broth you want. If you wanted just to have vegetable broth, just do that. If you want just chicken broth, you can just use chicken broth. That's fine too. Combination, that's okay as well. We're also going to need an onion. Where did I put my onion? An onion. So we're going to need about half of an onion. That's for later. The first thing we're at, and some herbs and spices, a little bit of this, not too much, salt and pepper. And we're going to need some vegetables right off the bat. So some chopped up vegetables. So about 2 cups, anywhere from 2 to 3 cups of finely chopped vegetables. And that could be not including the onion. And that can be anything you like. It could be celery, carrots, anything of that nature. I really like zucchini, so I'm going to chop up some zucchini, and I really like sweet peppers, so I'm going to chop up some sweet peppers very fine. So that's the first step. So we're going to get started with chopping up our vegetables, and that's how we're going to get started. But I want to let you know that this part, when you do the vegetables, is kind of optional. If you wanted your risotto to be just very much plain without a lot of vegetables in it and stuff, you could make it that way, in which case you would skip the step of the chopped up vegetables at the beginning. Okay, so here we have our vegetables. We're going to cut them up. Yeah, I'm cutting them fast on the video. Obviously, you're going to do that a little bit slower. It's just me have the video sped up for this. Yeah, so we're going to get all those vegetables ready. You want at least 2 cups of cooked or chopped up vegetable, very finely chopped. So that's what we're going to do, getting that all together. If you don't want to have the vegetables, you could skip this part. Definitely, and just have more of a plain rice, then you would just use just an onion, a half of onion, and then do the rice part. This is really more optional, so I like it. But yeah, and you can use the vegetables that you want. It could be very simple. It could just be like carrots and celery. I happen to like like I said before, the zucchini and sweet peppers, so that's what I'm doing here. And so that's going to be lovely. Okay, so yeah, it takes me a lot longer than this. That's why I sped up this part of the video. So there's the vegetables. Okay, so now we're going to get our pan ready. I'm using my electric frying pan again. Make sure it gets nice and hot. I've spread the oil in the pan. And then I'm going to take those vegetables I just cut up and put them in the pan, and we're going to give them a nice saute. Move them around, stir them frequently. So that's what we're going to do. And what you're going to take a fork and make sure that they're fork tender. And then we're going to take them out of the pan, get them all out, put them in a bowl, cover the bowl up because we want to kind of keep them warm. Don't have to keep them like cooking, but keep them warm. So they're in that bowl. Then we're going to put some more oil in the pan, and then put that half of a medium onion chopped up quite fine, and we're going to saute that, let that get a little bit softened. So I'll move it around. And then next, okay, what do we got next? Oh, yes. So we got that. That looks good. Now we're going to get the rice in there. So that's a cup and a half of our arborio rice, as I mentioned before. And we're going to kind of toast a little bit. And then we add our broth, 1 cup at a time. So we're going to mix that. We're going to stir it frequently. I'm getting another spoon instead of the spatula. And we're going to let that cook on medium low. And then let all the first cup of that absorb into the rice. And then we're going to add another cup. So 1 cup at a time, very important. Don't rush it and do the cups more than 1 cup at a time. And when I was making it this time, I had to use actually 6 cups because using the electric frying pan, it kind of cooks faster in some parts than, and others, like the heat will come on, then the heat will go off, then the heat comes on, heat goes off. So instead of 5 cups, it actually took me 6 cups to get this right. But that's why 5 cups is the recipe, but you may need to put another bit of it. And I actually had to use 6 cups in all to make this rice. So very important there. And so we're going to check it and make sure it's nice. It's getting nice. And so see that broth is almost all entirely absorbed. So right at the end there, and the rice is tender, should be a little al dente. So you have a little bit of give, not too mushy, right? You don't want it too mushy. And then we're going to put those vegetables back in if you're using the vegetables. Okay. Then you'd add your vegetables back in, let that last bit of that broth absorb. And I put a little bit of summer savory, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, and there we go. And beautiful. And the secret ingredient now, some dairy-free cream cheese. So I got 2 to 3 tablespoons of that, and we're going to mix that in. So I turn my heat down on the rice. It's just barely on low, like a keep warm. And then we're going to let that melt in and make sure it's mixed in there really, really good. And and there we have it. Beautiful. And there you have it. Dairy-free creamy risotto. Really delicious, has the vegetables in it. Now, if you wanted to make it without the vegetables, you could do that. You could just skip to the part with the onion, sauteing the onion in the pan, putting the rice in, then adding your broth 1 cup at a time. That's really, really important to cook the rice on medium low, letting it absorb 1 cup at a time of 5 to 6 cups of broth, and then really creamy and tastes wonderful. And the secret ingredient at the end, dairy-free cream cheese. Any flavor you want of the dairy-free cream cheese. This one has garlic and herbs, so that's why I don't add garlic to the rice or to the onion at that stage, because this has sort of garlic in it. But lovely meal. You can add whatever protein you want to that as well and make a full meal out of it. Really lovely, or it works great as a side dish. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you give it a try. You make it your own. And in the meantime, thanks for joining me here at the Dietary Restriction Kitchen today. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.